My friends, John LaRuffa here with another straight up solo, and in this episode we are going to take a look at Leviathan Wilds. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you have, I really do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. All right, so this is a cooperative game, which is very easy to play solo. Now, you can play solo the way they tell you to, or I guess you could play it two-handed or multi-handed, however you want. The way they tell you to is you choose two characters, 1, 2. You have two separate boards. You take their character cards and only one deck of the, whatever, it's not support card, but the skill cards. You shuffle that all together so you get a slightly bigger deck, and you both share that deck. And the way I look at it is, when I'm taking turns with this guy, there's my deck. I'm taking turns with this guy, there's my deck. And the reason I say it that way discreetly is because just because you have one deck doesn't mean you really have one deck. It's like you pass the deck back and forth. And some of these events talk about something happens to the active player, then there's this. And you have to do it twice to the deck, so to speak. Okay? So anyway, what are you trying to do in this game? You are trying to move around this map and destroy these crystals that are present on these large leviathans. And you do that by spending action points to strike them, by spending action points to move and climb up, or glide down, or jump over hazardous spots, etc. And you get those action points by selecting one card from your hand, which is right here. And this is the total action points you can spend. The card itself may have some defense against certain hazards. Like this one defends against these types of spots where if you move in them without that kind of defense, you'd lose a health. And then you can play any other cards from your hands for the effect down here, okay, and for the skill, I guess you could say. And those do a variety of different things. So let me go ahead and demonstrate just one or two turns so you get the feel right off the bat, all right? So the first thing you're doing on your turn, and I've already completed one full round, you have a certain amount of rounds before you lose. You have to win by the end of this fifth round here. It's not really fifth round, sorry. By the end of the round where this token is present at the end. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to reveal the threat. And this threat is enraged. It's on the harder side because one of my threats now, where I am in the round, is enraged. So this is most health and second most health. Both are going to have to lose a grip, which means I have to take one card out of here and discard it, and move down this type of like blighted health by 1 point. It's really hard to recover blighted health. It's kind of like your health cap, all right? And if these two ever meet, your explorer dies, and when they die, you have one more full turn to win, otherwise you lose. And if both explorers die, you also lose. And again, if you run out of time, you lose. The only way you win is by destroying all these dice, which are the crystals, on the Leviathan. Okay, so I know at the end of my turn, after I'm done climbing, I'm going to have to resolve that. All right, so what do I have to work with? Well, I've got a 4, a 4, and a 3. It is this person's turn right now. I'd like to move into a spot here. The most direct route, well, the only route I'm going to be able to do, I'm going to have to go over this little spot where I lose grip, unfortunately. So, I'll take this one. So this is going to be 4 action points, all right? So I'm going to go 1, lose a grip, 2, and I have 2 more action points left, all right? So I can strike for 3, 4, which I will. So 3, 4, and this crystal's almost done. Now, how can I finish it off? Well, I could use this card, and it says, when you use a mushroom, choose 2. Oh, well, no, I can't use that card because I don't have any mushrooms. You pick up the mushrooms throughout what you're doing. So basically, these are the mushrooms. If you move on them, you can grab them, and they give you little bonuses like +1 AP, or block, or strike 2, etc. So I'm pretty much out of action points. So that means that's the end of my turn. Now I go to resolve the threat. So I'm going to have to, for both these skills, most health and second most health, I'm going to have to move these down 1, and I'm going to have to discard both of these. Uh-oh. So I lose my grip because I had to discard both of these. When you don't have any cards in your hand, you lose your grip and you immediately fall. Now, you're going to fall till you get to a spot where there is a ledge. But luckily for me, I have a card right here that says any climber may anchor and then move up. Okay, well, I'm going to have my guy who's all the way over here anchor and then move up. So I'm going to assume you have to, this anchor means you stop falling immediately. Move up. I don't know if you have to or not, but I'm going to do it anyway just so I don't make any rules messes. But here, unfortunately, I have to fall, and I fall right through this spot. And this spot would have me lose more grip, but there's no grip to be lost. I've already lost all my grip. So that was pretty punitive on me. Now I can't draw any more cards at the end of my turn or anything like that. And so I'm going to be starting at a disadvantage. So that's the end of the round. Normally I would draw 3 cards. Well, I can't because I don't have any grip. So I go to the next person. I'm going to reveal this threat. It says active person is going to push 1 down and all others either lose a health or a grip. So how do I get more cards back? How do I get my grip? Well, I have to do a recovery, a rest action, pardon me. When you don't have any cards in your hand or you don't have any way to generate points, you can always at a minimum generate 2 AP points. But that's not the case here. I have 1 card in my hand, so I can play this for the 4 AP points. I can spend 2 of them right now to do a rest action. So 2 of them, what you do is in the single player, the solo, you won't get your whole deck back. You'll get 7 of your cards back. All right, so I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I reformed my grip, and you can only rest in spots where you're on ledges. And then I'm going to exhaust this this determination token to draw 1 card and hopefully get something I can use that'll be helpful. Okay, well, I still have 2 more action points I can spend. And it's tempting to kind of jump up right back where I was. But so I've already, so this is interesting. What I think I'm going to do, and I think I could do this because my activation is my entire turn. I don't think it means I have to do this at the beginning. I think I could use this right now. I'm going to gain that 1 point now, so I'm going to have 3 points to work with. Nah, that's silly. I'm just going to go 2 spaces. 1, 2, I'll lose 1 more grip. So there we go. I had to do a little more discarding, but now I'm kind of back where I was, ready to deal with this crystal. All right. So at this point where I am, I have finished my turn with him, Now I have to do this. I have to push down 1 more spot. Oh, that stinks. And then all others have to lose a health or a grip. There's no way for me to block any of that, unfortunately. So it's almost like I would have been better off just staying at the bottom there. Oh well. We'll push down 1 more. I'll lose a grip. And I'm going to have him take a hit, so to speak. All right. So that's the end of that round. Now I go to the next one. I move this over. I draw 3 cards, up to 3. So now I have a hand. And I'm already kind of in trouble there with this. So I need to find a good place to rest. And so you're basically trying to puzzle through, how do I deal with the challenges of climbing? How do I get enough action points to strike these things? How do I handle all these as they come up? It's a very interesting puzzle. And there's a lot of different characters in the box. There's a lot of different skill decks you can mix and match. And so, and there's what, 17, I think, Leviathans in here. So lots of puzzles to kind of work out, play, and tools at your disposal. But the rules themselves are pretty simple. You know, in your actions, you can either climb for 1 action point, jump, which means you can skip a spot for 3 action points, glide for a certain number of action points where you kind of glide down in a certain configuration, strike, like I told you about how you're going to get rid of these crystals, rest, like you saw, mend, which is 1 action point, and then you can always let go, use a skill, or forage. Very simple from a standpoint of the actual turn base. So not tough to understand, Rule book was fairly clear on most things. Could have used a little bit more solo explanation for how the solo works, but there we go. So let me tell you what I think of it. Okay, so Leviathan Wilds is a very cool, very approachable co-op game, I would say. There's a lot of variety in the box, in the main box, which is very cool. But the rules themselves are very manageable to play. So this is one of those games, I think, where once you learn the game and you play it a couple times, just so that you manage the nuances, there's a couple of nuances here and there, you will be able to jump back into this after a long time not playing it, which I like. I really appreciate that. It's a nice puzzly game. It has a good solid amount of challenge. Playing the true solo is cool because you only have to manage the one deck, but you still get two characters to kind of work it out. I haven't tried any of the expansion content yet. It's going to be a while before I get to that. So I probably won't be doing a formal review of that anytime soon because I just don't want to rush into it. But I would definitely say that if you like co-op games, you like puzzle games, hand management, little deck construction, so to speak, because you can pick different decks to go with your guys, there's a lot of good stuff here. It's very cool. Does the game itself, like after one play, blow me away, or two plays blow me away, or three plays? No, not necessarily. But I think the whole thing, and I say that because in a lot of ways it is a pretty simple game, but I think the whole experience and the variety and the amount of combinations is what pushes it over the edge to me for like, yes, this is a game I want to keep in my collection because there's just so much to explore. And I think that is the benefit of this. Every one of the Leviathans it plays differently. And when you configure your hand, you get a lot of different stuff. So it's kind of like one of those things where in this case, I just appreciate the game for how flushed out it is, how well flushed out it is. I would say that any given game I've played, I wasn't like, I don't know, like it didn't take me to some of the heights as some of my other favorite solo games by any means, but it's still like a satisfying, cool puzzle. And so that's kind of where my head's at with it. It's a little weird. I'm not trying to downplay it. I think it's a good game. And it's actually a really fun game for me too. But it's like, it's fun to a certain level, but I do really like that there's a lot that you can do with the system, and that is cool. I love that it included so many different climbers and so many different skill decks, and that the skill decks have ratings about how powerful they are, how mobile they are, how much support. Love all that because you can really build some cool combinations. So anybody who likes that kind of stuff, who likes constructing things and trying different combos, I think you're really going to like this game. If you want to just like set up the game and put it out and play, one standard way, which they don't really even give you anything like, oh, these are like your predetermined things. So, but just, one in specific thing, it may be a little bit underwhelming in that regard just because, you don't get, it's not that you get any really wild or crazy abilities or something like that. So, and it seems like a very unique game in that way where it's an approachable co-op, so it keeps the difficulty of learning it down, but there's so much to put in there, you can enjoy it over and over and over again. I don't know if I was really clear. I've got some mixed emotions, so to speak, but I think that's the best way I can explain it. I definitely like the game. I definitely recommend it, especially if you like playing solo games or co-op games in a solo function. Although this would be fine playing with more people too. I would worry this one really screams at the old like alpha player. Somebody's going to dominate. Let's make a plan. You should do this. You should do this. I'll do that. And that could be a real problem in this game just because the whole thing is kind of perfect information when you start. And I worry that would be a bigger problem. So I like it as a solo for myself co-op kind of experience. So thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. Whatever you do in the future, I really hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy, everybody.